Hello, everyone. Since the bad weather is continuing, I want to make sure you have an idea about how to write your scholarship essay. And again, most of you have had a chance to look at these assignments in week 3 and go over them. They're fairly self-explanatory, but I do want you to feel confident that you know what I'm looking for. And so, again, what's the purpose of this assignment? Um, it is simply to give you an opportunity to create a strong scholarship application. There's a value to that. This asks you to be deliberate in your um, wording and use proper grammar, which we'll talk about in a bit. And you can, in fact, submit this application um, to try to get some money to pay for school. So it's a real world activity that also has some educational value, I think. So there are two parts to the application itself: the list of activities and things you participated in, clubs, extracurriculars. If you're a freshman, that would be things you've done in high school. If you are an upperclassman, it might be things that you've participated in college. But the main thing we're going to concern ourselves with here is number 2 there: write a clear and coherent essay. And these are the elements that need to be included. Your write a clear and coherent essay describing your achievements, goals, and ambitions, explaining why you deserve scholarship consideration. In addition, how will this scholarship impact you financially and academically? So, your achievements, things you've already done that would lead the committee to believe that um, you will actually graduate and make good use of the money for scholarships received. Your goals and ambitions, to me, these are pretty close to the same thing. What do you hope to do with your career? So you'll want to talk about your major, which it goes with the theme of this class. Um, you'll want to point out specifically why is this scholarship deserved, and what will the financial and academic impact of the scholarship be. Um, Again, it's important that you stick to the 750 word guideline, um, because otherwise they won't consider your application. All right, so let's look at some sample scholarship essays. Um, it's always a good idea to see what other people have done. So here's a student, and all these students gave me permission to use their materials to help others. If you asked a younger version of me what I wanted to do after I finished high school, I would tell you I had no idea. I ignored my natural talents and instead fell back upon simpler routes, like possibly joining the army or law enforcement. Except I had very little passion for those fields. I used those plans as a crutch to hide from what I really wanted to do with my life. I wanted to help people. As a child, I always had an innate interest in technology, not just limited to computers. I got into more trouble from tearing apart remote controls than accidentally breaking things or acting out or whatever other children may have done. I wanted to know how things worked, and the best way to do that before the days of Google were to find out yourself. I was not sure what parts were which, however. I was awestruck regardless. My passion for technology evolved more as I grew older, from upgrading my computer with new components I had researched online at 11 years old to building my own PC when I turned 13. It didn't stop there, though. When I reached high school, I heard about a networking class in which I would learn the basics of routing, internet protocol, and so forth. I naturally jumped at the chance to take this course, and it was an eye opener. I had no clue what to expect, but I had found that the internet is fascinating and my drive to improve would never falter. Okay, so you can see this person is talking about different stages in their life journey: as a child, um, as they grew older, in high school, as a teenager, at 15, Um, um, and again, um, combining this desire to work with technology with the medical field, um, and finding out that certain paths are not for me. I lost the desire toward the end and began looking for work elsewhere when my general should be manager. There are some errors in this essay. You want to make sure that your essay is error free. Told me he was looking for me to stay as he had a position open for me in the service department. I was not very interested at first. However, as he further explained, my interest piqued. He wanted me to pioneer the service department's online center, train others to do it as well. I had previously told him my computer experience, so he took a leap of faith and put me in charge of the department. I did exceptional work and set them up for success before departing a few months after. Um, okay, so again, this person has quite a bit of experience, and with a major in computer science, has experience in the real world to back it up, and that's great. Um, and certainly, this is an essay that suggests this person has a lot to offer in the technology field and using technology to assist others, which is important. Again, you can look at a couple of other scholarship essays. That was the first one, and there are a couple of other examples that you can explore there as well, just so you have some ideas of what others have done. Um, and this is my scholarship essay PowerPoint. And okay, so again, as I pointed out, you are going to talk about your various, uh, you are going to make a listing, a resume of your clubs and activities, and don't forget to include things like student government, um, clubs that you were in high school, sports teams, and creative ensembles like band or theater. Um, uh, again, being part of a team shows that you know how to work with people, and that's always a very inviting thing that employers and scholarship reviewers are looking for. Volunteer activities, almost everybody does some kind of volunteer work as part of their high school curriculum these days, and um, again, even if you only do one activity, it's worth mentioning it. Professional societies or programs, are there clubs or activities in college that you're part of? The education fraternity, the marching band fraternity, um, Psi Chi, the club for psych majors. Hobbies and interests. Again, college is a busy time. You may not have time for much in the way of hobbies and interests, but perhaps you have been active in the past and might mention it. And of course, work experience. You may say, well, all I did was work at McDonald's. But again, think about what you learned and what you did at McDonald's, and there's a good chance that you learned some very important life lessons. And if you work there for any length of time, that shows that you're dependable and finish what you start, which is certainly valuable, I would say. Okay. Um, Achievements, honors and awards, things like boys or girls state, championship sports teams, National Honor Society, perfect attendance, most valuable player, student of the month, and make sure that you connect those activities with why you should get a scholarship. So you worked as a line cook at McDonald's, shows you know how to be part of a team, and work effectively with others to get the job done. Perfect attendance shows you show up, you are reliable. If you were part of a team, you understand teamwork and you work hard to get the job done. Why do you deserve a scholarship personally? Again, perhaps you have family hardship, a parent who has lost a job, or you're not getting any support. I know there are some students in my classes who get no support from family at all and are completely on their own paying for college, maybe working 2 or 3 jobs. That's certainly a reason you could use some scholarship help. If you've gotten good grades, don't forget to mention that. And then, by all means, what good reasons connect you to society, your career goals, what in your past predicts you will be successful in the future. There could be lots of things that uh, fulfill that promise. Um, I would like to suggest that you start your essay with one of these openings. Um, Again, it's not these are not all the possible introductions, but these are 3 that will, I think, catch the reviewer's eyes. Things are not as they seem. To look at me, you may think I'm just an average teen, but I actually have a superpower, something like that. Or the clock is ticking. Every morning, all over America, children are waking up dreading going to school. I want to change that. So the clock is ticking. What's coming up? Or standing in the shoes of a character yourself. So you're describing how you feel on a day that changed your life as far as your uh, career goal. So the magic thesis formula, look at how you can see what, and this is important because. Um, so based on my achievements, I am a good candidate for a scholarship because additionally, scholarship dollars will help me to, um, and so forth and so on. So that's certainly something that might help you. In the body of the essay, um, yes, you certainly don't want to brag or say you are the greatest um, person that ever lived, but everyone has some achievements, um, and I think you need to think carefully about what you could realistically say, and goals and ambitions. What's realistic based on what you've achieved so far? Um, how has your past life prepared you for future success? What have you learned that will help you succeed in the future? And then finally, how will these scholarship dollars affect you financially? Perhaps you won't have to work 3 jobs. Academically, perhaps instead of getting C's, you'll be able to get A's because you can concentrate more on school. Those are some things that you can consider as you think about your scholarship essay. So your job is to make a draft of your scholarship essay. And I think given our situation, um, I am going to put off peer review. I'm just not quite sure we're ready to do peer review. We may or may not have school in person on Thursday. I'd still like you to come, and I certainly will have things for you to do in class. But the most important thing, I think, is that you be working on this scholarship essay. Again, this brings together many of the things I've had you do so far. You've written a short essay for me talking about how your career goal motivates you. That ought to feed into this scholarship essay. You're going to write a second short paper due on Sunday to explain how you came to choose your current major or potential career.